Hit it.
Good. Nick, Brandon Graham's going to set a...
What? How nice of you, Jeff.
He's in a holiday spirit.
Giving mode.
Brandon Graham's going to set a franchise mark for games played. Just what has he meant to you in your time here?
Man, he's a special player, special leader, special person. And so just to be able to step into an organization, and I always feel like I group all those guys together with those four guys that have been 10-year plus Eagles. Like, that's a unique situation, and just really helped my job as a head coach. Made it a lot more simple not simple, I don't think that's the right way to say it, but like just helped me out in my transition from coming offense coordinator to a head coach because of the leader that he is, to have leaders like that. So he's awesome. He's unbelievable. Him being, in that first year, when he got hurt that first year, right, I missed him being around every day. And once he was healthy enough, he was around every day, and you could feel the difference. I mean, I could talk about him for a long time here, and I want to be respectful and answer everybody's questions I can. But man, he's a special guy. Like, and I saw him this summer somewhere down on the Jersey Shore, and he's like, "Hey, coach," we were at the same pool. He's like, "Hey, coach, can I use that ball that you have?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." So I throw him the ball. He's like, "I'm gonna play catch with my son." Next thing I know, he's playing catch with the entire pool, like 30 kids that are like, he wanted to play catch with his son. He's playing catch with the entire pool. I mean, this is the type of guy he is. And it's mostly kids that are playing catch, but grown-ups are going by going, "Woo, give me a shot." He's throwing it to them. Like, the guy's unbelievable. And I actually appreciate the question because it gave me a chance to brag on him. Not only a great football player, but and a great person, great teammate, great leader. I mean, you name it. And I think you'd hear the same thing from every person in that locker room and every person in this building.
Nick, some video has gotten out about your actions after the game. I'm wondering if that's something that you embrace because it's you being you, or is it something that maybe when you watch it back, you're like, "Oh, is that me?" And then do I need to kind of like maybe curtail some of it?
Yeah, emotions run high in games, and I give it to the Kansas City fans. They were right. They were rowdy, and they had some good things to say coming in from halftime. They had some good things to say when they would score. Sometimes I don't hear fans all that often. I did in this game, and I definitely heard them at halftime. And so I give them credit. They aren't Philly fans. They aren't as good as Philly fans, but I definitely heard a couple of things they were saying in the game. And so, hey, that's you always look at those things, but to me, I'm not gonna with everything that I am, I'm not gonna hide who I am, and I think that I talked to my buddy after the Indy game last year, because I had something like that with the Indy game last year, and he said that he was talking to another teacher because he's a teacher, and he's like, how did he say it? It was interesting how he said it. He goes, the other teacher said to my best friend, is like, "Hey, did you see how cool it was that Nick was celebrating with the Eagles fans after the game?" And he laughed. He goes, "Nick wasn't celebrating with the Eagles fans. He was talking shit to the Colts fans." And he's like, he's been doing that since I've known him. This is who he is. And you know what? I think if you're somebody you're not, that gets seen through by everybody. And so, hey, like that was I was emotional after the game. That was a little playful back and forth with the Kansas City fans, but again, I tip my hat to them. They aren't Eagles fans. They aren't as good as Eagles fans, but they're good fans, and we heard them, and that's the way it went after the game. I like Slade's reaction too.
Hey Nick, when Avonte went down, it was kind of assumed he'd be done for the year, but does he have a chance of coming back, especially if he gets the playoffs and wins?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. He's working hard. He's working really hard to be able to. We'll see. That all depends on how I know he's going to put the hard work in. I know we got the best trainers and doctors and strength staff in the NFL. But sometimes it's just going to all be with the way the body reacts, and we'll see how that goes. I'd hate to put a timetable on him of that and say, hey, yeah, we're expecting him back, and then he doesn't make it, or vice versa. So day by day, we'll see.
Do one
Hey,
more
Nick,
and then
you
we'll flip
always
it.
talk about motivation, use it if it helps you, whether you're going back to Kansas City, playing Buffalo, if it helps you. Do you ever look at it from Jeff's question, that perspective of, hey, maybe somebody will get fired up, use that as motivation?
Yeah.
You ever think of it that way?
Yeah, I do. I do. But again, there's so many things that everybody can use for motivation. And so, if somebody, we all saw the Michael Jordan documentary, he would use he would make things up. Like, listen, anyway, I think that was said in that documentary, right? He would make things up to get motivated by. These guys in this league they're here for a reason. They know how to work. They know how to get ready for games, and so like I guess that really doesn't go through my mind, but they could use it, right? So like again, you use what motivates you the best. If it distracts you, it distracts you. Like, I'm not going into this game against Buffalo being like, I'm from Buffalo area, and the only thing I would say is like my friends that are rooting for Buffalo, I'd be like, that's a little crazy that you're rooting for Buffalo and not. I know you've rooted for Buffalo your entire lives, and I guess I'm kind of talking to some of my friends right now. I know you've rooted for Buffalo your entire lives. I got it, but shoot, you didn't spend play all these games and all these different things with Sean McDermott when you were growing up. It was me, right? So let's just reevaluate how you're thinking about this game and who you're rooting for.
All right?
Yeah, come on. Go ahead.
Off the record.
Go ahead. I'll be quick on it.
Just you were speaking earlier in the week about Brian Johnson and how people weren't talking enough about him, specific to how he's worked with Jalen this year. What is it about that you've seen that he's able to bring out him, the checks, the things that we were seeing so far?
Yeah, I just think he's a great communicator, great with Jalen. Him and Jalen have a great relationship, and Jalen's played really good football because Jalen's a really good football player, and he's continued to develop, but also because Brian Johnson's helped him in that, and now it's just in a different stage, a different role. I actually think that any criticism, obviously I have to hear things, right? Bob gets me, whether it's the fans in Kansas City that I overhear or Bob getting me ready for the questions that I need to answer. I just think that the criticism on Brian Johnson, I think that's silly, and I think it's kind of, I don't know. I think it's a very silly take on him that if there is any criticism on him, because I think he's doing a phenomenal job. I think our offense is doing a good job. It's all about, you can look at every stat you want, but do you score as many points and win as many games? That's all it's about, right? We average a half a point less than what we did last year, and we have the same record. So he's done a nice job.
All right, thanks.